you're up first if you want to have a seat.
Yes. Hi there, ladies and gentlemen of the Select Board. My name is Alan Calsmith. I'm a lawyer in Montgomery, and I represent the estate of Sheila Bizion.
Spell that, Bizion, please.
I knew you'd say that. Biziallion, I think.
And probably nobody will ever
It's close
correct us
enough.
anyway.
It's close enough.
Okay.
Anyway, Sheila inherited, when she was alive, 50 some odd acres from her mom's estate on the north side of Golf Course Road, probably in 1980-ish. 1984, she bought 10 acres directly across the road from Leland Stanley. And 4 of those 10 acres are what is known as lease land. And that's the purpose for my appearing before you today. Lease land was land that was created in the earliest days of Vermont to make sure that certain entities got some tax money. Those entities were usually churches and or schools, sometimes towns. I had in the deed, from Leland Stanley to Sheila, there is mention of the fact that 4 acres are lease land. The lease land fee on these was 10 cents an acre, or 15 cents an acre. So years and years ago, most towns merged that lease land payment into their tax payment because that lease land payment was so sort of silly. I mean, 45 cents a year is what it would come to. In 1985, this lease land was owned by something called Richford Grammar School. Whatever that is, whatever that was. In 1985, it disbanded. But at the time of its disbandment, they conveyed the lease land property to the town of Richford. So you now own that lease land property. That doesn't mean you can go on that property and put a town garage. That means you get that 45 cents a year, which is now merged with your tax bill. There's no separate bill anymore for lease land anywhere in Vermont. They've all merged them. Bottom line is this creates some kind of legal rigmarole title issue as to whether the property owner owns the actual land or the leasehold. So this, I represent the estate. The estate is selling the property. The buyers of the property hired a lawyer in Burlington, did a title search, found this lease land, and contacted title insurance companies, and title insurance companies, would rather that the lease land be given from whoever owns it, in this case the town of Richford, to the property owner. Now, in the midst of all this, our legislature passed a new bill, which basically says if any town, this bill was passed this last session, if any town, be it Richford, be it Montgomery, be it South Royalton, does nothing about their lease land, this craziness of lease land is over. And the towns have no more rights, and that lease land goes to the fee owner, which in this case would be the 4 acres to Bizion. That happens if you do absolutely nothing on January 1, 2020. If you want to see, here is the statute, if anybody wants to look at it. I have copies of the deed to her and copies of the lease land. Now, why am I here today? Because the title insurance companies, which write the title insurance on these properties, which most people, especially out-of-state people, want and require, says that they can insure the leasehold with this lawyer, and to make things more complicated, he's no longer the lawyer for the buyer, and I have no idea who the new lawyer is. But I'm satisfying his requirements. His name is Fred Pete. It's a law office in Burlington. I'm satisfying his requirements by asking one of a few things from you. Either you do nothing and this lease land disappears. If you say in your minutes that you intend to do nothing, the title insurance company will accept that and write a full title insurance policy on this property and write over any lease land issues that may come. 2, you could decide, well, not to do that, But you could say, look, we're not interested in these 4 acres of leased land property that we have for this Bizion property. So we'll quitclaim any interest we have in that property to her. And that will dissipate those 4 acres from leased land. That's 2 things you could do. Now, my memory serves me, what's the third thing release? Oh, you can release all your leased land. And just say in your minutes and say, look, we have no interest in this leased land property because we have no benefit from it, which will happen in January 1 no matter what you do. Unless you say, I don't want to release this leased land. If you want to hold on to this nebulous right, or whatever it is, you can do so. Now, I sent copies of all these deeds to who is the Richford attorney in the book, Mike Bourne. I don't know the last time many of you have spoken to Michael, but I sent him copies, and I said to him, Michael, I am going to present the select board with these issues of this lease land. Someone on the select board may contact you. This is the issue involved. So he has these deeds.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
A few years ago, and it was the Corliss Road, and it was, you say the church or the school?
This is the grammar school.
We already did this, unless there's more than one glebe land up there.
I don't know.
It was, the person that was gonna buy it, I think his name right now, he's a plumber, electrician, and we went through the whole thing where we released, I almost thought it was 4 acres. Wouldn't it have said it when you were looking though? I know it was Corliss Road.
That's the golf course road?
Yeah,
This
and off it is the Corliss Road.
This is not the Corliss Road. So this is the property, you know where the golf course is?
Yeah.
The golf course owns obviously the golf course, and the golf course owns the sugar bush. Right past the
Right.
golf course, there's a driveway right past that sugar bush. That's where this property is. And the property that's the 4 acres is directly across the road.
And it wouldn't be considered Corliss Road.
I don't think so, I think
Well,
it's.
because I know
golf
we've
course
done this once. We-
road. Towns do it all the
yeah,
time.
We did it a couple of years ago.
It's basically your.
Lawn golf.
So it's on the right-hand side of the golf course
That's
road.
exactly
Going
right.
up, it's on
That-
the right.
It's on the right. The 4 acres are on the right, the house is on the left.
And that name I just mentioned isn't the name of the buyer.
No, you mean that's Ron Goff?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's long gone, he lives in Hawaii.
Okay.
And
Well,
it's-
that was who we had the glebe land
It
agreement
could be,
with.
it could
Maybe
be.
it's being sold again, maybe it
It
was
could have been.
golf course,
But
not
this is
Corliss.
clearly the golf course road.
Right.
And when
I thought
Ron
we
Goff
already
was here,
released it.
Sheila would still be alive, and I don't think the problem.
So which house does that go with?
It's not a
Her house.
Her house.
The Bizineau house. So if you know where the sugar bush is?
Right
Yeah.
above the golf
Right
course.
past the sugar bush is your driveway. And up there is a house, Taylor Gourmet put a new roof on it last year. That
Okay, I know
rings a
what
bell.
house it is, yep.
You know, that's the house. And it's, it's a nice house. And it's under contract, and obviously the people want the house.
What if we've already turned it over?
Well, you can turn it over again. It
Okay,
doesn't
so
matter.
it
You
doesn't
can't-
matter?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can vacate 18
I'm
times.
almost sure that this is the one we did, but we can do it again.
Or if you just put in your
Minutes,
minutes
yeah.
that you wish to do nothing with lease land, that'll satisfy the title insurance company.
You won't have to wait a year?
No,
January?
no, that's the issue. That will, title insurance company says if the select board in any town say they will do nothing about lease land, that's good enough for them, and they will write a policy tomorrow.
Okay. How many of those do you think we have? A lot, probably.
Well,
Every time there was a school.
this lease
or-
land would be a lot more than 4 acres, so I don't know who owns any of the other land up there.
Right,
and-
I'm talking about the whole town, every time there was a school or
Used to
a
be a
church.
lot of it years
There were a
ago.
lot
Yeah,
of them,
exactly.
yeah.
Had a lot of land.
Exactly. Well, UVM will give it up, but they reserve the mineral rights.
Right.
But that's only UVM. Everyone, the big problems are these churches, because the churches no longer exist.
Right.
And who has the right? So this statute is only for municipal lease land, not church lease land. Because
So just
no one knows who
schools,
these
basically.
churches are. And I mean, there's a church in Montgomery, no one knows who owns it. Because it was owned
This
by
was a
the
church.
Baptist Synod, which hasn't been in existence for like 50 years.
Right.
So, but anyway, this is lease land. If you just say you will do nothing about it, you could care less about it, it goes away. It goes away anyway on January 1. If you do nothing, you have no benefit to do anything. I mean, I can't
We
give you
already have
legal
the
advice,
tax. We already
certainly.
have that 45 cents
But-
built in.
Where do you get that 45 cents in your
I want
tax
that
bill?
45 cents.
You get it in your tax bill, which is
Anyway, and the next
cons-
person will pay it. so.
considerably higher for that house. That house has a fairly substantial tax bill.
Mhm.
So that's
There's
the
really no reason to
issue,
keep
that's
any
what I
of it.
present to you.
If we said it once, would that cover all future lead land?
Yes, because if you
If we say we're doing nothing, that's including all of the,
then that goes away in January.
right,
And the only reason to put it in your minutes is to satisfy title
Insurance,
insurance
yeah.
companies to say, if they say that, we'll write a policy with no exclusion. And that'll satisfy lawyers in
Right.
downtown, wherever they are.
Or if we only do just this one property, then we can say, well, we only exclude, I mean, I
we can
hate
do it
to.
for each property if you want, as they
I know,
come
but what
up.
if we say it about some property that we don't even know about, and then after we say, oh, God, we never should have done that? You know what I mean? I mean, unless
We can do
someone
that.
comes
If you
to
do
us,
nothing,
it's gonna go away
It's
in
gonna go away in
It's
January.
gonna go away
January.
anyway, we don't have any control over
It's
I
it.
gonna
know,
go
there's
away.
still 6 months
Sure.
between now and January that,
Say, you just don't wanna do this one.
You're just trying to expedite this along
Yeah.
to get it so you can.
yeah,
get the
they
property
wanted,
and-
this,
Yeah.
people wanna close this in the next few weeks.
Plus
Right,
that's holding
right.
them up from buying a
Right.
house.
Right.
no, I'm comfortable with that, but if we say we exclude all of it, what if, I mean, who knows? We don't know what's out there for at least,
We'll just do one then, just do this one.
If
Let
you-
them come
that's
to
what I
us
feel
as they
comfortable
come.
doing.
Okay, then the only thing I would ask you to do, if I may be so bold, is to authorize Alan to sign the deed, and I'll prepare the deed and bring it to Alan instead of contacting every one of you to sign it.
Yeah.
If you put that in your minutes, that
Yeah.
gives Alan authority. I'll prepare the deed at no cost to the town, and my client will pay for it, the estate will pay for it.
Somebody make a motion,
I'll make motion.
say the motion.
Say the motion.
I need to know what it is, because he really wants it in the minutes.
The property,
It's, I can tell you exactly what it's, if I had my reading glasses.
To,
make a motion to
Make a
Release.
motion to release.
lease this, lease,
Do you have reading glasses? Anybody?
I forgot mine.
I have my mother's.
Mine are in the car, I just don't wanna
just a
run.
minute, just a minute, they go without.
I'll tell you the exact
May look a
language.
little flashy.
That's quite all right. It's not the look, it's the
It's
lens.
the lens.
Okay, the release, here, this is the deed, I'm reading from the deed from Leland Stanley to Sheila Horn Bezion. It's 4.5 acres, is leased land, Franklin County Grammar School, and subject to an annual rental of 10 cents per acre. And that deed is dated December 2nd, 1976, and it looks like it's page. I can't figure out the page. But it's also 4 acres of part of the
4 or
Franklin,
4.5?
4.5
Okay,
of the acreage that was conveyed from Franklin County Grammar School Corporation
wait a minute, let me get that, Franklin County
County
Grammar School Corporation.
to the town of Richford on October 28th, 1975.
On October 8th,
1975, and that's also recorded in the land records in the town of Richford. Unfortunately, I don't have the citation,
that's all right. as long as
but it'll be in the deed.
Okay. So let me just read this back. Shirley makes a motion to release 4.5 acres of land
Like,
that was given from Leland Stanley to Sheila Beeson
Right.
on December 2nd, 1976, which was conveyed to the town. I mean, I'm not gonna write it like I'm saying it because it's totally grammatically
I
incorrect.
understand, you'll
Okay.
straighten it out.
You got it, okay. I'll just make sure I
By-
have the facts.
Right,
By Franklin
Was it
County.
given or was it sold?
by, you mean in 19, I have no idea, I'm sure it was
Sold.
Sold.
I'm sure it was in
Probably
19.
for $1 or something like
No,
that.
no, to Richford?
Yeah,
That I'm sure was given.
I thought the legislature did something in '76, we found out last time that kind of.
Well, that's
over
what,
that
yes,
stuff.
there is the
That's
exact
when they
language in
acquired
the
all
deed.
this stuff.
It said to satisfy Senate Bill
Right.
146 on April 11th,
See, they
1975.
made them turn all that land over to the towns. or to whoever, at that point, 76.
Yeah.
But where Linda had in there, it was given, or should it say given or sold?
Conveyed.
Transferred, conveyed.
Conveyed.
I've
is
got
the
conveyed in here.
Conveyed.
Okay, so just wanna make sure I have all the facts, and I'll rewrite it. 4.5 acres, December 2nd, 1976, conveyed from Franklin County Grammar School Corporation to the town of Richford on October 8th, 1975, recorded in the land records.
Right,
And what do we decide to do with it? We're gonna release it.
right, that will be accomplished by a quitclaim deed from the town of Richford to the estate of Sheila Bezion, and you authorize, I talk too fast,
State of,
Alan Fletcher to
to
execute
sign,
the deed.
Sheila,
And that's,
all right, what'd you say at the end? Granting permission for town clerk to sign the papers.
you authorize the town clerk.
Authorize, not grant. Authorize town clerk. I'll write it up, as long as you're happy with the facts. Town clerk to sign all,
The deed on the behalf of the select board. And I'll get him a deed in the next couple of days.
okay.
And Alan's aware of it. I spoke to him numerous times about this problem. He had never heard of it. He didn't know what to do about it.
Well, he did it a couple of years ago.
Well, you know,
He knew
these,
about it then.
you wanna dig this up, you have to go to the land records
but
to
I
seventeen
remember
ninety.
doing it. Wasn't that one? Anyway,
You might have already done this,
we might have, this might be the
but it's
exact, but it
easier
doesn't
for me to
matter.
prepare a deed than to search the land records.
Because I can't believe there's two
But-
lands up in that same,
Well, I don't believe you would have done it 2 or 3 years ago, cause that lady's owned that house for,
Yeah, she's
yes,
owned,
but,
30 years.
but Goff was trying to buy it.
no, not this
Not
house.
this one? Okay, then it
No,
is a
no,
different
Cause she
one.
was alive when he was here.
Okay.
It's only her estate
He
that's
had,
selling it.
he had one on the Corliss Road, but he did
It could be,
sign
well, there's,
over.
like you said
It's
before,
everywhere,
there's
yeah.
leased land
It's all
everywhere.
over.
You never know where you find it.
Right, so this is a good one. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Hope your meeting doesn't go to 11 o'clock. We got a lot of people here, I'm getting out of here. Hope I didn't take up too much of your time.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Heather Skilling?
I'm Heather Skilling, I live at 44 Main Street, and I came to ask to have the sand and gravel cleaned up off the streets and sidewalks. It's really hazardous for people walking, and it's unsightly as heck. We really need to start taking some pride in how our streets look. I made a list of the 5 worst sites that need to be started with.
Are you done with David?
The first one is, the worst one is the corner of Main Street and Powell. There's a lot of dirt there. And every time it rains, it runs onto the sidewalk. That whole sidewalk north of that intersection is all covered with sand and dirt. And then the 2 iron grids that are on the eastern and western ends of the crosswalk from the People's Trust parking lot to the Main Street Mill are covered with sand. You can hardly see them. And that's really hazardous. There's a lot of people use that. That crosswalk is very busy all times of the day. And then the street parking in front of the People's Trust lot is covered with sand right from the whole area right down to the bridge. And you can't even see. There's a handicap parking space there. And nobody knows it's there because there's so much sand and filth on it. You can't see the handicap parking sign that's on the asphalt. And then, of course, the corner, the intersection of River Street and Main is really bad, and
Where they just worked the other, last
Yeah.
week, yeah, that's,
that needs to get cleaned up. And then the last one I put down was the sidewalk in front of the new town lot at 44 River Street.
Yeah,
It's covered
well,
with
that,
well, they're
gravel.
using that,
they're using that like a dirt bike track.
yes, you need to stop that.
So-
John's written them a letter today, or this week.
About that. So we really need to start having some pride in how our streets and sidewalks look. And, you know, people come to town and drive through town and see that filth, and it reflects so badly on the town of Richford. It's really unsightly, not to mention it's dangerous for a lot of elderly people walk around town, and that sand is very slippery. So I'd appreciate it if that could get taken. It's something that's gonna be ongoing. Every time there's a big storm, it's gonna happen again, and it's gonna have to be cleaned up. It's-
Comes out of the parking lot where you're talking, but no, it's
Yeah.
the bank-owned parking lot, yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta
I'll say we
get,
swept everything all up this spring pretty good, and then you get rainstorms and it,
comes
comes
back.
down,
Well,
comes
it's a maintenance issue.
Well,
It's
the
gotta
heavy
be kept
downpours,
after.
has a tendency of bringing, you
yeah.
know, sand and stuff like that as the water's flowing, so.
Yeah. Well, it's something that's
And
gonna
ain't
have
normal
to be.
rain, a normal rain wouldn't do that.
Right, just when it's heavy, but, right, this isn't a one-time thing, I recognize that, this is gonna have to be
Yeah,
Right.
done every time there's a big storm, but it really needs to be done, I think.
What do we do, rent that sweeper every time that you have to do that?
We have a sweeper on our loader. We got another sweeper on our little loader, but they really don't work all that great.
No,
They
It's more
work.
of a
just make
shovel.
dust.
Yeah,
It's more of
people
a
complain
shovel.
about the dust. And
Years ago.
it's a no-win situation. You try to clean up the sand and the dirt, and then the people complain about the dust, and it's,
Someone
You need-
else
you
did
need somebody-
complain about that corner down here and thought we
Yeah.
should have a cone on it.
need somebody to do a community service there.
I know
Good
years
Give them
luck.
a
ago,
push broom.
They
I
used
know
to do
years
it
ago,
with
the
a
fire
shovel.
department, we used to wash the street down every now and then, Main Street in the morning, before it got busy. And
Well, it really needs to get, shoveled up.
well, we used to have a company, we rented a full-fledged street sweeper, a vacuum street sweeper off them, but, they quit, they stopped renting them because it was such a high maintenance issue
Take a
that
shovel.
they weren't making any money apparently, so they stopped renting the machines, and we just haven't found anybody else that rents them, so. It's a matter of just people dealing with the dust when we sweep, I guess. We did Province Street today again, up where the road repair was, we keep getting stones and dirt.
Noticed that
from
was better.
How much is one of them sweepers?
Couple $100,000.
For using it only a couple times a
No,
year.
to buy one.
No, I know, but we'd only use
Oh.
it a couple times a year.
Well,
We got one on the back
If
of
you
that
had
new
one, you'd use it
vehicle.
more.
Yeah, yeah.
If you had one, you wouldn't have people complaining about
Right,
sanding
you
the
use
road.
it all the time.
No, it's something
Well,
we
they
can,
used to work with Enosburg back and forth, but that, I don't know what happened there.
well, we bought one together years ago, but you know how that works. You both
Yeah.
want it at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we still have it?
No, Enosburg ended up buying our share, they got it.
They rent it from them?
Yeah.
I
Well, I think it's obsolete and antique now, I don't even know if they actually use it anymore.
Yeah, they did. They were
Yeah.
using it this spring.
Yeah, I know they're having trouble getting parts for it. I guess we'll just have to do it more often and keep up with it throughout the year.
be good, yeah.
Thing to do is come in real early in the morning, like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and sweep it, and people don't see
When
the
nobody's
dust.
around, yeah.
That's part of the problem. If you catch it on a rainy day, you don't have the dust problem, but it doesn't really pick up as well either.
But where does the
Yeah.
dust go? I always wondered that. You're going through this whirl of dust, doesn't it just settle back down after you're done, or does it suck it in?
It dissipates around, yeah, it's still there, but it's scattered.
It picks up the
Yeah,
bigger,
blows it onto the house.
the gravel, the
Right,
stones
right,
and
the
that.
big stuff.
Sweeper picks that up and puts it back in the bucket.
Okay, well, thanks.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Anita,
I think she,
Josh?
did you want to do that now? She had asked to have it moved to later, but
Oh, do you want it moved
We can
later?
do it later, yeah, if you want, that's fine, yeah. let
You okay
people-
with that?
Yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
he's asking me that.
Just,
Where you at? I don't know where you at.
no, I got a ways to go still. Approved minutes from the last meeting on July 1st. Anyone have any issues with them?
I did not.
I read through them, I didn't see anything
Oh, just
that caught my eye other than, I was looking for some spelling mistakes, but I
Oh, you
couldn't
were,
find
huh?
any.
Well, keep looking. A-N-D-I.
No, I couldn't find any.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as is.
I'll second
The
it.
second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I'm getting a big table here. I don't have too much. This is a copy, this week is the tax sale,
That's Wednesday, right?
Thursday, July 18th at 2 o'clock. Those are the properties that are on it. I think there's only four.
It's Thursday.
Four. I don't know if anybody wants to go to it, but
I always go.
I'm gonna go and
It's interesting to go because sometimes the town buys something and we need to be
Alan
there to
needs-
approve it, yeah.
yeah, he asked if 3 people could go.
I'll
I
be
told him
there.
I'll
I'm
be
gonna
there.
go.
You're gonna go,
Yeah.
Linda, you'll be
Yeah,
there.
I'll be there.
Okay, there's a couple of them that we.
Is this it?
This
That's not
Thursday.
bad.
Yeah, it's only, it's just 4, but there's 2 of them that we kind of like to buy,
Right.
so. Okay, that. I made everyone a copy of the ATV ordinance and the VASA bylaws.
Did you copy?
I think everybody should probably just keep a copy in
And I'll
case
keep one in the
they get
desk,
any
too.
questions.
I passed one down.
Did you get the original I
No,
left
I
on
was
your
just gonna pass
desk?
them down through, sorry.
No.
Here you go.
Joey says,
I have a question on the ordinance for what was in the paper.
Okay.
Some of the roads that were mentioned the night that Scott was here
Mm-hmm.
are not on your ordinance,
say the ones
i.e.
that.
River Street, Brook Street.
River Street, I know is not on there, and I don't know why they didn't ask for it to be on there, if they changed something to do with their roads.
That was on it, right, because that's how you're gonna get from Providence to.
But I
Maine.
didn't
There were
submit,
other mistakes.
I didn't,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't submit no drawing. The drawing was
No,
just,
what I'm saying, the one that
their
they
hand
brought, so,
scratching.
right, but I'm just saying
Right.
from Providence to Maine, you got no connector.
yeah, I know
And
it's
from
not on here.
Providence and Maine to, the other side towards Berkshire, you got no connector right now, that's why I was just bringing that to your attention.
From what, from where to where?
So without River Street, you can't get to North Branch.
Wait a minute, North Branch is in Stevens Mills.
No,
North
North-
Branch is over here.
Over here, okay.
Over
Goes to
here.
Berkshire, right, so you got no connector from Providence, Maine, and North Branch, you lost the whole section. And then they wanted to go from 105A, they were talking, up Brook Street,
In Stevens Mills.
it takes you into, McAllister up through there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those roads are not on your ordinance, just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Well, I know, I knew this one wasn't on there, but I don't know if they don't want it, maybe they didn't want it on there, I don't know.
You don't think that it had any?
We have it in here that we can,
ones
we can add roads, take roads
Exactly,
out,
without
put them
having to
in.
redo it.
I mean, it's not up to us to,
We can
pick the
add
roads
it
for
in
it.
I'm
the
just bringing that to
But
your
I-
attention, I know,
I don't know if they might be planning on making a trail to go from the end of North Branch Road up through her, I don't know if they're planning
I know
on
they
going
were gonna
around.
get That night, they were talking about having to use River, because they wanted, back when the crossing was in business, they wanted to cross it as part of it, plus you also, and stuff to get up through. That's all I was just bringing to your attention on the
You don't
ordinance.
suppose some of the ones that they had to take out because they weren't really Richford would have connected those?
No, River Street's just from the
Right, from
bridge
there, so there was
out
nothing on there
to,
that
where's
we
that
took
stop,
out.
at the branch, the branch bridge?
They stopped at the bridge.
Yeah, so it's just that
Nothing
section of
there.
road.
Huh.
I don't know, if they,
We can, like,
that's
say
up
we
to
add
them,
it
if they
later.
want that to be on there, they'll have to add it later, but I put all the ones that they had on their list on there.
I just really mentioned that.
We definitely still got things to work out, I
Oh,
would
yeah.
say. It's like the road going up to the source, the water source in Stevens Mills, the continuation of Brook Street up through.
Yeah,
When it gets up so far, it just turns into a right of way to
Yeah.
the water source. It's not a town road, it's
Yeah.
just a right of way for the town to get to the water source. We'd have to basically open that up for them too, because that's kind of the main trail up through there.
yep,
That's not mentioned or anything, it's,
No, I mean, I think they're gonna have things they
yeah,
gotta
they're
sort
gonna have
out.
things they're gonna have to
They'll
work out.
figure it out and they'll come back.
Yeah, and we can change it at any time.
We shouldn't have to worry about it. It should be there.
Unless
Right.
they wanna add River Street, I mean,
Right.
if that's a big thing, but,
Well, they basically just gotta come to us and say they wanna add a road or add a street, right?
yeah.
Yeah. It's a good starting point.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to mention, I went to that meeting, with, TJ Donovan at the bakery the other day, and it was good turnout. There was probably, I don't know, 15, did you go, John?
No, I
No.
was out of town.
There's probably 15 people that went. It was a pretty good turnout. Everyone had some good suggestions and some good things, and hopefully he can help us do what he said he'll help us do. We'll see how it,
Could you tell us about some of the topics he discussed? This is our Attorney General for the state that was.
yeah, he didn't, so he didn't really discuss any topics. He did, he told us what he does, what his job title is, and all the different things that he does, and then he asked what we thought some of our issues in Richford were, not just me.
What
but
are they, and what are
everybody.
some of the issues the community expressed?
The biggest thing that people, talked about was, the rental units in town. Too many rental units that aren't being taken care of, which is kind of the face of the town. When you come into Richford, you know, we have a handful of landlords with 20 rental properties, and most of them are being paid by state money, and the buildings aren't being taken care of.
Like on Main Street here by the overlook and on River Street over there by the park?
Well, they didn't really point any fingers at any buildings, but I mean,
Those are the entrances to the town.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
You can ride around town and probably point your own finger at the buildings that you can see that
And
aren't.
when you come in by the cemetery from J Peak, then the buildings on the left there that are, some got sold and some want to be sold.
Yeah. So we talked about some things that we could do to get the ball rolling in the right direction to.
Anybody talk about drugs and crime in the town?
Not much.
And violence and suggestions of violence and threats of violence to people and property?
No.
That never came up like it did today at the meeting?
I hate to interrupt, but really that's not,
Yes, it is. This is our Attorney General of the state.
you should,
And I'd like
we should have gone to the meeting. This is our
I think the
meeting.
town who couldn't go to the meeting, I think for the record, it's nice to hear Andy review. He was
That's fine.
there.
Andy, like-
I
Thank
went
you.
and I put everything on our Facebook page, the write-up from the meeting, my write-up from the meeting, so it's all been.
So was anybody talk
Published.
about drugs and alcohol issues that kind of
Sharon
create?
Fragard had a nice article on, I think, yesterday's Messenger, or the weekend Messenger.
These contribute to our crime in the town and our reputation of the town as being sort of a druggy little town that's not safe for a lot of people to stop in for too long.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
it wasn't.
children to live in.
Wasn't talked about much, but
Okay, but, all right, thank you.
that's all I got. Scott?
Really don't have a whole lot on water and sewer. It's, we did the dig down here by the bridge, we just gotta let some of the gravel pack in and get it repaved. Did some fence repair up around the old reservoir on Bros Hill. The person that owns the land around it has cattle now, and we removed some of the brush and trees and stuff last winter from the reservoir, and during the process they smashed some of the fence down, so the guys and I went up, spent a couple hours the other day cutting brush and fixing fence and getting it straightened out so the guys' animals wouldn't be getting into the reservoir. We don't really use the water anymore, but it's there in case of an emergency, so we gotta maintain it to a certain level for sure.
Which one?
The one on Bros Hill. So we got the fence repaired there. Other than that, I guess things are pretty kosher.
Jerry?
We had somebody fall through the stairs at the post office.
We had somebody what?
Fell into the set of stairs. The back stairs to the superintendent's office fell off, the cement broke. So I have, Bobby is going to come and take care of them, fix them. He's out of town right now. When he gets back, he's gonna go down and fix them ASAP.
How about the lift?
That stays till he has another job.
I will ask him about that. He's down in Jeffersonville right now.
I leave them until they go somewhere else. They have to pay twice.
I will ask him about that. Besides that,
I mean,
he's finished up the library still, so
Could
about
almost
it.
drive it over to the town garage or something, couldn't they? If they
They
don't-
could put it
don't wanna
anywhere
move it.
other than out here,
It's
probably.
kind of in a rough spot right there.
We had it there when he was doing this, not Bob, but the other one for months
Well, it's
after they
just
were
limited,
done.
our space is limited out there as it is.
Yeah.
That takes up
I
all
park
our
under it
room.
and think it's always gonna fall on me.
Okay, I will talk to him.
I mean, even if they don't wanna pay to move it, you can still drive it, you can drive it down the road.
Yeah.
Could drive it over to the town garage if there's a spot over there where it's out of the way.
Okay. I That's it.
So it was the back stairs where
Back
somebody
stairs.
fell, or?
Did they
Yeah,
get-
stepped
did
through
they
the
get-
wood and it fell, some of the stairs slid off, so they need to be redone. Some of the
Was it an
bracing is
employee?
rotted.
Were they
Yeah.
injured? I hope they were not, but.
Twisted an ankle a little bit, but besides that, nothing that they're gonna come after us for, but, yeah. So that's gonna be fixed as soon as possible, so.
Linda?
The other night, there was a severe dog bite, up on the Hollister Road. And actually Joey informed me that she was a teenager, right? Yeah, I got a report from the hospital that the dog had gone through an artery and there was a lot of blood. And he said that the sheriff, his name is Camilleri, responded first, correct me if I'm wrong, and acted quickly and put a tourniquet on her, and he felt that that was saving her from either loss of limb or life. So I wrote this letter that I'd like you to approve me to send. We're sending this letter to offer our gratitude for the quick thinking of one of your officers, Tyler Camilleri. On June 28th, 2019, Deputy Camilleri answered a call on the Hollister Road in Richford where a young lady was severely bitten by a friend's dog. According to ambulance personnel who arrived at the scene, Camilleri's quick thinking and his application of a tourniquet to the patient may have saved her. The young lady was transported by ambulance to the hospital for sutures and antibiotics. Once again, we express our sincere appreciation for his actions and quick thinking in a stressful situation. Please share this with him. I sent it to Langevin.
That's actually false information. I did all that.
And what we were told by the deputy, it was the deputy that did it, so we were told.
I was right there with you, Joey, and you asked me.
And we were told, the deputy, that's what we were told. That's what's in his police report from what the lieutenant said.
That's fine.
I
but I
just-
did it
that's
just
all
in
I
case
know.
ever something ever comes up.
I thought you showed up after.
I don't know, I was saying he was there about.
I was there first. He got there about 5 minutes after I did.
We shouldn't have this on the TV. That part. But from the police report and everything we were told by the officer that night, that's what happened. I was going on.
Did Camilleri put on the
He came to the
tourniquet or
station.
not?
Yeah, he came to the station and we talked to him that night.
And he put the tourniquet on.
He asked if he did anything wrong.
That's
I'm going by what I was told.
what they said at the sheriff's office too. Okay,
And believe what you want, I know what I did. I'll write up my own report on it too and make sure it's documented.
I thought you weren't on call that night.
I wasn't, but the last 20 years, when we get calls like that, if it sounds like it's bad, we treat them like car accidents. Anybody that's available can go.
No, this used to be a no jumping policy.
Okay. Well,
It
that's,
was a duty.
Well, hopefully the person's all right.
She's fine.
That's good.
All I know is that's what I was told.
Where was the bite? Arm or leg? Arm.
All I know is that's what the deputy came to the station later on that night, they talked to the deputy, and this is what was told to me. So, I'm going by what I was told.
Did you keep all your paperwork? Because I wrote on there that I put it on.
No, I don't keep all my paperwork, I turn it over.
Bad documentation.
Who was on call with you?
Timmy,
I'll ask him.
because the deputy came to the station, we both shook his hand and thanked him because he told us he did it.
Why would he lie?
Well, somebody was appreciative of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're appreciative.
Exactly. It
That's-
worked out.
that's-
It worked out.
That's good deal,
If
appreciate
it
it.
turns out he puts tourniquet on, can I send this letter?
yes, I
That's-
agree.
Ought to get the facts straight though, I guess.
That's just.
Well,
what
I thought I had the
was told.
facts.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I was told, so that's why I related to.
They
like,
seem to think
the
that
select
down at
board
the
to send
sheriff's
letter.
office as well. Now it's on TV. Okay.
I'm just being honest.
Well,
Um,
sounds like it's one vote against the other. Which will bring up some more questions later about the,
Yep.
this incident, but we'll talk about that in executive session. Okay, the emergency meeting, for our emergency plan. I'm gonna call, I'm gonna ask Anita and the fire chief and people like that to come. We need to all get on the same page. So it's gonna be either July 23rd or 25th from 3 to 5 p.m. I'm gonna need you there because you're the road foreman, okay? And,
Yeah, I just took the courses for the NIMS and.
Well, this isn't anything to do with.
You don't want
the-
anything.
No, this hasn't got to do with your job, but it's
Okay.
if we had a flood or a fire
Yeah,
or
that's, yeah.
a town emergency.
What were the 2 days? You said, sorry.
He can come July 23rd or 25th from 3 to 5 p.m. I haven't said it exactly, it's either one of those days.
I can't do the 25th, but I could do the 23rd.
Let's do the 23rd, you'll be at
I'd like to be there too.
You wanna be there, then I'm gonna have to warn it.
3 to 5, you said?
Yeah, I made it in the afternoon because I want Andy Pond there and,
Do I need to go? If I don't need to go, then I
no,
won't.
it's not to do with as much, like Anita needs to go.
Right.
It's more like, who you gonna call? You
Is
know,
that a
like
coordinate?
they had the.
Yeah, it's coordination if there is
Coordination, and
a.
I want everybody to have all the phone number, I want you to have a copy, everybody to have a copy of all the phone numbers. Because as I said
Like our
before,
first
when they had that
response.
flood in Swanton last year or the year before, you know, they knew they had to bus people out of there, so we need to call, you know, who to
Yeah.
call. They had to get canoes,
Yep.
bring people, or boats to take people out. They had to have a place for those people to stay. So instead of, and the guy said, you don't do it during the middle of the emergency, you gotta have it all, so you make a phone call, phone call, phone call.
Right.
And everybody should know
A chain.
who's doing the phone
Yeah.
calling for each one, so. I
That's
just-
what one of my courses were,
Good.
where I did.
Yeah.
Then you can help us out.
She's
Yeah.
getting me the information.
Who needs to
Would you
go
like
from
me-
the select board? Do you need,
Well, I'm
Just
right
two
now the
people?
emergency coordinator. Nobody needs to go but me, but Scott needs to go because I would call him as if he were not on the select board, but as road foreman, because they
Okay.
would have to come out and remove
and you wanna go
trees.
too?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just warn it then.
Yeah.
And then if I wanna go, I can go and Jock
Yeah.
can go.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say if only 2 people need to go, but
well, I don't, it's up to me who goes because I'm calling the meeting, so I'm gonna invite people, so I'll make it open. But that doesn't mean everybody in town can come and just talk the whole time. We're gonna do our
No.
plan, yeah, and it's gonna be our meeting. If they wanna observe, that's fine, but
Right.
we're not gonna go for 6 hours while everybody gives us their opinion, because this is all set in stone, it's with the state, and you just
Right.
need to have the people's names. And some of them are outdated on there, like they still got Johnny as the, you know, so
Mhm.
I just want everybody to be on the same page. Not that anything's gonna happen, but if it does,
You never know.
we'll have everything, we know where we're gonna be.
so you want me to post it for 3?
Let's try to do the 23rd then, is that, what day of the week is that?
Tuesday.
Okay,
23rd at 3
from 3 to 5.
PM, and that's a special meeting.
Yeah, on, emergency,
Doesn't work.
plans. People work, they work. I can't set a meeting for, you know, for everybody's pleasure. It's gotta be, here's the meeting, if you can make it, you can make it. If not, I'll send you the copy of our plan after.
Well, because you have to have the guy come to it, correct?
I'm having the guy
I know
come.
everybody was mad because we made the meeting at 10 AM with the Attorney General, but he was
You
the
make
one,
a meeting
he set
and-
the.
Yeah,
he-
everybody
he-
can't
It was
go.
his time slot, not my time slot.
Exactly. And you if you sit there and say, oh, I can't come this day, I can't come this day, you'll never get a meeting. So that's when it is. If people wanna come and observe,
For the
they.
record, could you tell us what the emergency plan is? I have no idea.
No, it's too long, Michael. That's what I'm gonna do at this
What
meeting.
is it, emergency, or ambulance,
I
or
just-
fire department? Is
it's
it
the-
a town flood
Let me
emergency?
finish. I just told
Please
you.
tell me.
I told you. It was either flood or fire, an invasion of aliens, I don't know.
Good disaster.
Whatever happens.
Disaster, it's a
Yeah, it's a
It's a
disaster.
disaster.
Okay.
And we need to know how to deal with it and who to call. Like, we can't all call Andy, for example.
Right.
Help me, I'm stranded.
Yeah. And you're like, well, so am I.
So who's making, can you tell us who's making the plan for,
It's a state plan.
the state has a plan and we're just going to
Well,
enact
It
it?
It's
has to
something
be individually to
You have to
each
adapt
town.
it to your town, you have to change it to
Yes.
your town.
So
what
who
makes
who's
sense.
adapting and changing it and
The
making
select
rec-
board.
Okay.
I was gonna
So
say
you're just gonna
is-
present it to the town at 3
No,
o'clock
I'm
on the
going to
23rd?
present it
Right.
to the people I invite at 3 o'clock. And it's really not gonna be comments from the public. It's
The
a
people you
working meeting.
invited from the town, you're
The
presenting it?
fire, okay, you need to listen, because I
Okay.
already said this. The fire chief, the ambulance head, the head of the roads, I might have the sheriff, maybe the border patrol, whoever would be working in an emergency. And that's not like the regular guy on the street, unless,
So they'll give you some feedback to your plan. That's, and then the community can come watch that, right? Is that?
Sure.
Okay, great. So that's-
he's there because probably we'll have questions for him that I can't answer. Because I don't know about
So the
things.
feedback will come not from the town people, but from the people that are the emergency providers, so to speak.
I don't know where the feedback will come from. This
Well,
guy,
you said you
Sean
invited
Col-
these people, so they're gonna give you feed. I'm trying to get a clear picture of myself as
I'm
a citizen.
inviting
So maybe the
emergency,
other
if
people.
you'd let me talk.
I let you talk all the time.
So come,
Well, I'm
just,
on the board, Michael.
on,
Guess-
se-
guess
on the
what?
I'm a
23rd.
citizen who's here on my own time
Okay,
too. I'm not getting
I'm
paid.
done.
You are.
I'm
You are
done.
getting paid. So it's not much, granted, but I don't get paid, you know, at all to be
Well,
here.
I just told you what
And
it
quite
was.
honestly, I don't come here to get hassled by anybody, especially the select board member, the longest standing select board member, who's regularly hassled me every time I try to speak.
Michael, we'll give you 5 minutes at the end to speak. We gotta keep moving on. We're arguing about something that doesn't,
It was a clarification about an emergency plan.
and you didn't
that
ask me to
affects-
speak. And I'm the chair of the board, so if you wanna
So,
speak,
no.
ask me, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, this is something that's already in place
Yes,
anyway,
yes,
it's just
yes, it's
updating it
updating
and
it.
making
It's an
sure
update.
every,
It's an
yeah,
update. The
it's already in place.
Different people, yeah, it's the same thing every year, but I don't think everybody knows all the names to call.
Right.
So you're all gonna get a copy when we're done, and this Sean Coleman is the head of it. So he's the one that's gonna come and walk us through it.
Thank you for the clarification, Andy and Slim.
I'm done.
Y'all,
We got, 3 bids that came in there for the culvert there on Combs Road. 2 of them
I
were
got-
close to one another, pretty, we had $500 difference.
I've got them here, I didn't have copies of them, but they are there. They're all
And
pretty
one
much,
of them was $10,000 more.
Do you say who they are? I don't know, it's up to you. Do you wanna say them?
Actually,
yeah.
This one here was
Wanna say
500,
the prices though?
500 less than what's good.
One of them turned out was a mistake in a way.
Right.
were they sealed bids or no?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were sealed.
Yeah.
We opened them last Monday afternoon.
He was the cheapest there.
This one, is this the one you picked? Rush?
Yes.
Do you wanna say the price or not?
Yeah, you can, as far as I
What is
care.
it? Read it to me, cause I'm not sure where it is on here.
Um,
57?
56,000.
56.
Oh, it's right in the, okay. 6,000 to install multi-plate
Mhm.
culvert on Combs Road.
Andy, can I ask a
We're gonna go
question?
with,
You're gonna
What's
go
up?
with DeRoche.
Is the order of business presently to, I ask permission to
He was-
speak, is the order of business present, go through your whole agenda before I get a chance to speak my 5 minutes?
Yeah, we're almost there.
Are you almost there? Okay, that's just one.
Yeah, just a few
How,
more
if I was
minutes.
gonna wait till the very end of the meeting to speak?
No, just a few more minutes.
Okay, so that one.
this one here was $10,000 more.
So do you wanna say them all or just the one that got it?
We're just going.
I would just go with
How do we-
I don't think it
It's
matters.
just the one that we did.
Yeah.
Okay, so you decided on DeRoche Construction, $56,000 to install multi-plate culvert on Combs Road.
Mhm.
Okay, when will that start?
As soon as we get easements, and he said he would be ready and available in about 3 weeks, but hopefully we can push through and get our easements ready. I keep pushing, but only go so fast.
Right.
Okay,
Is that all grant money for that?
Yeah, well, we got our
Just the
match
wire
we
match.
have to do, but we're working most of ours
Working it
off,
in
yeah.
kind.
We're helping with the project, that's his share of the project. We broke it down and separated some things out, and that's their share. We're doing quite a lot of it ourselves, doing most all of the trucking, and supplying the materials.
And how much is the grant for?
It's a big one for a lot. of
175.
things. Where are they from, DeRoche?
Jefferson.
Does that quote include the price of the culvert too? Or we're buying the culvert?
The culvert's already bought, it's sitting over the town garage, that was $46,000.
Doing the water work.
46,000? He's what, the one doing what, John?
This outfit is the one that put in the water system in East Berkshire right now.
Oh, the ones that are working there now.
Yeah.
They aren't gonna be done in 3.
Well, he figured he could move part of his crew
Oh,
up in
up
about
there,
3
yeah.
weeks and get started on it. That was his hopes.
Mhm.
Save on the moving costs, seeing
Yeah.
so close.
I worked for him years ago with a dump truck here, so I know him pretty good. He's always done good work.
Where are they from?
Jeffersonville,
That's a different way of spelling
where
it.
Chase's gun shop used to be, right there. Wilson Road or.
Anything else, Jacques?
Pretty much all the ledges are, Collis Road and Stevensville, Slate Road, that's pretty well all done. For big projects.
Are they doing any more of that? You did a little bit up on for the ledge chiseling, you did a little bit on the Stevens Mill slide and then over on the Corliss Road. Is there any more roads?
Nope,
No,
that's it.
no,
That's it.
Those are 2 grant roads that we did.
He must be done. I haven't heard
Yeah,
him.
that's all
Yeah,
done,
he's done.
it's all done up there.
Is everything back lined in the ditches and done where I can, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Seeded and mulched.
But the only thing left to do up on the Collis Road is that culvert by, where Fletcher lives there.
By the old country school.
That,
We still don't have easements on that. Slow getting easements.
And that's part of that same grant?
No,
or no,
that's a
different.
different grant. We had 4 different grants this spring that I've been pushing to try to get done. They seem to fall, like, in our spring's work, like part of the sweeping is one thing we have to do, and yet we have all these grants that gotta be done by the end of June. And then they gave us a month extension, so they gotta be done by the end of July, but the spring is just crammed with all kinds of work. You got all your spring's work that you have to do, try to get gravel on the roads, get roads graded up, do the sweeping in the village, and then get these grants all done before the first of July. It's, I don't know, I think things should change on how they do their grants
Do you think
personally.
next year when you have Kyle on CDL that it will go better, faster?
Not a whole
You
lot
need a
different, I
full
don't
crew.
think. You only have so many bodies and so many things to do, and, you know, you gotta get your spring's work done, you gotta get the roads graded and gravelled, and
Spring came late.
try to get the village cleaned up.
It did come
Yeah,
late.
spring came late.
I'm glad we hired that extra guy.
I know that somebody didn't wanna hire because we could,
he's not here at the moment.
what do you mean? Oh, he
Oh, that's
hurt his
true.
shoulder, but that's not him, that's Slim hurt his shoulder.
Yeah, Slim hurt, well, that's the extra guy we hired.
He's back to work this week on light duty.
I have to tell you, he went down, Marie is painting the gazebo, cause I got a better quote from her. And he went in and he cleaned out all that stuff underneath it, you can see right through the bottom, and he power washed it.
Pressure washed it.
Yeah,
He told me
yeah.
he pressure washed it.
How-
Saturday
How
or
did he,
something.
where did he get the water to pressure wash it from?
I don't know.
He used our tank that we got at the
Oh.
town garage when we thaw culverts and stuff.
Oh.
So you can just hook right up to that.
Yeah. pull
I
it
was
with a
shocked when I
pickup.
went by.
Someone
'cause
told me he pressure washed it. I'm like, how did he
Yeah.
hook up water? I didn't think there was a spigot down there.
There's
Yeah, he brought a tank.
the river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did, he cleaned it all underneath, I mean, you can, it was all full of weeds and branches, and you can see right through the bottom now. She started to paint the ceiling, and,
So is she doing that separate from her job here?
yes, yes, she's keeping track of her hours, and I told her to put his hours on her, or she's counting his hours toward hers. Because I had a quote for over 4,000 on it from some guys in Jeffersonville, and I thought, that's too much.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, but I think, I put it in the paper, nobody came, and then I talked to Marie, and I knew she had painted somebody's house, so she took it on. She's one heck of a worker, I'll tell you.
She likes to keep busy.
Yeah, she's doing a good job.
He was painting when they came down for the meeting.
Oh, she was painting tonight?
Yep.
Yeah, she's doing it after work. And you know it'll be done nicely too, so.
Is that it, John?
Yes.
We've gotta get some signatures here on these town road and bridge standards that the state wants us to adopt, and it's just something we gotta get some signatures on and finish making it out. I still had some questions on it. I've been asking Jim Smith and Bethany Rimmers and some of the other towns around us, but I'm still researching but we gotta get signatures, so might as well do that while we're here.
Sure.
In order to get any grants, you have to adopt bridge and road standards. Certain things you just gotta do in order to be able to get the grants or qualify for the grants. This is one of the things we gotta do. There is a road and bridge standard now, but they're updating it and changing some of the paperwork, so it's a new policy basically.
Back page, flip it, nope.
No, it's like the second page in from the front. There you go.
C, Q,
No,
I'm just picking them.
I'll take the glasses off. No, to just see.
I do when I haven't got my contacts in, I have to take them right out.
I don't have anything for police, I didn't get a report yet.
I have nothing either, except I thought that he responded quite well to that, I'll have to look into that.
Roger did text me that, well, they had made those arrests for the people who broke in the church and,
Yeah.
and possibly the Legion. He had
Right.
texted me that morning and told me that, you know, just to be aware that
It
there's gonna
was
be a
the
lot of
same
cops.
guy that did our broken windows, and then when he got out.
Something to do with the flowers too, right?
And he took all the pots and
Same
broke
kid.
them, and then, was it Saturday night? Just saying, he just got out of jail, and the plants were all pulled up again, I don't know. Arky's gonna go back and look at the camera.
He needs to find a new home.
Heard anything on the speed sign or radar sign or anything?
Remember I asked him that night?
Yeah, I know.
And I asked Roger personally before that.
I wrote Roger an email about it before this weekend.
Yeah.
So
It was in, where did I see it the other day, some little town?
Montgomery.
Yeah.
Montgomery, but it wasn't theirs, was it?
I don't know whose it is, it's on the bridge.
Yeah.
It didn't say Franklin County Sheriff on
I know
it.
they don't have a contractor, so I bet it ain't theirs.
No,
I
the
bet
town
it's
might
the
own,
sheriff's.
the town might own their
Or
own.
that could be states too,
If you remind, yeah, cause they're doing construction.
yeah.
If you reminded him, I was gonna ask him again, cause.
No, I did, I wrote him an email this
Okay.
weekend. Cause I drove by that one over there and
I
it
know,
made
me too,
it made
and
me
I was
think
like,
of it.
why is this
Yeah.
here when we asked for one, yeah, I know.
But theirs says Franklin County Sheriff's on the back side of it and it
Stamp, yeah, they have a star on
didn't
it.
have nothing on it. Joey, you got anything? John?
Yes. For the Historical Society, one thing for Linda, that graffiti that was put on there this spring has not been cleaned up. Remember, Beth was gonna have kids do it or
Where
something?
they cleaned up all the other signs. I didn't give her the I didn't know that was on this historical, did I? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
What's on there? What does it say? Can you
There's-
repeat it?
Yeah, because the
Probably
symbols, it's a peace sign and Nazi symbol and.
Okay, cause they did clean it, Bose went with them and made them clean the other ones up, behind.
But my purpose on that, you know that ramp that goes down side of the Historical Society that goes down back?
Yeah.
Well, could you clean up the weeds and stuff? They're higher than my head all the way down through it. It's an awful mess. And also, what about that old shed that's on behind that building? Nobody seems to use it for anything. It's not being maintained.
It's a homeless shelter,
And it's
actually.
used, what goes on down there must be something else because the amount of trash that's underneath there, that's left there.
Down behind.
Behind the historical building.
Okay, well,
I don't think I've ever been
explain
behind
to
there.
you new people on the board. The town owns that building still, and we lease it, and we do most of the repairs and stuff on it, but we were talking today about tearing that back down just because there's needles down there, there's clothing and stuff, but Scott pointed out today, is it in bad shape, or, I mean, should we tear it off, or?
I wanna go look at it.
I
I was gonna say,
I've never been
I don't
down
see
there.
the advantage of tearing it off if it's still structurally sound. I don't see getting rid of it. You
Because
could utilize it and probably put more
or
things
maybe we
there.
could put a gate in front
Years
of it or
ago, there
something.
used to be a gate up at the top of the
Top.
street back years ago,
Yeah.
but that's long gone
Maybe that's
now.
why I've never been down there. Maybe the gate was there when I was a kid.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah,
gate.
there used to be a
Yeah,
red
was
gate
there?
there.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, I've never been down
But,
there.
But we
And
store
most other
the,
places in
we
town.
store town equipment down there too, that's the other
sometimes
thing.
in the winter, yeah, they
That's
do.
where we keep our sidewalk
Right.
plowed.
But in the summer, we store the farmer's market stuff
Stuff down.
downstairs, so every Saturday, we never know what you're gonna have to go through to get inside of there, the garbage and trash and needles and clothes and got anything
Well, Johnny
else
used to
say?
catch people when he'd go down in the morning sometime to get a piece of equipment, being in there sleeping and stuff. I don't know if they can get in there.
Nice spot for a nap, it's right next to the river.
Why not? Perfect.
Well, it's just an open shed, there's
Yeah, it's
no
not-
wall on the front of it, it's just basically a roof with a back wall.
So I don't know what you wanna do if you take a look
Like
at
you
it.
say, I guess we'll have to take a look at it
Yeah,
and see
I haven't been down there.
best
No,
option.
I try not to
Ages.
go down there and,
You know, that'd be a good spot to put a little bit of sand or salt for in the winter time, then you wouldn't have to
have it
go
on the
to
street.
the town barn so often with that little tractor and.
We keep salt inside down there, normally bags of it.
No,
We
but
did for a
Down
couple of
there, we
years.
do, they keep stuff.
Yeah, and some inside you wouldn't have
Yeah.
to travel so often to the town barn.
At one point, John made a hopper and had a hopper down there, but it used to freeze right up, so he couldn't get it out of it, so we quit doing that.
I mean, there used to be lights on there you can see, but the fixtures all have been smashed everywhere.
Well, they don't want anybody to see them down there. That's a perfect place to hide out.
Last time I was down there was at night and it's dark down there.
Oh, yeah, I know, that's a good place to hang out.
We'll go check it out. We can tell the sheriff too, not to be afraid to pop down in there and
Right, right.
check
Yeah.
around down there.
Yeah.
But it needs to be brush hogged, I mean, there's so much,
Yeah,
there's weeds that are 6
pull the
feet
weeds,
tall.
pull the
and
weeds
stuff.
and get rid of it.
So we'll
Good.
check it
Yeah,
out,
thank you.
check out.
Heather? Anita?
We're gonna talk
She's
after.
meeting with us at the end.
Kelly?
I'm here about East Richford
Okay.
and my neighbors,
Okay.
like Rose in particular, with the fence down. It's been, I don't know when the last time I wrote Mr. Libby a letter over there, probably about 2-3 years ago. He's not been there at all since.
So it's abandoned? kind
It's
of?
abandoned,
Is that considered abandoned?
it's not mowed, a section of the fence fell down a few years back. There's gonna be another few that are gonna go down again, probably this winter. The roof, that old tin roof is half, every time the wind bang, that's gonna, I'm scared that's gonna fall off, blow off, hit a car, hit somebody. It's just a mess. He hasn't been there, and I'm gonna say 2-3 years, nobody's seen him. So I'm saying it's a mess. Now we've got down on, is that Lucas Road, going up towards your old farm? The little blue house, there's like 4 cars in there, okay? That little,
Which
not even a
house?
quarter-acre lot, right next to Shaq Fuller's.
Second
And the
house on. it.
Second house
Yeah.
in, so that's got like 4 cars. Don't know for sure. Eddie says that only like 1 is registered. Ben Bothier's house now has 2 campers in the driveway, okay? I don't know if anybody's living in them. My concern more is the Mike Rose thing, just with that fence, the yard, and it's really becoming an eyesore. You know, I'm scared, I know he's locked it all up because somebody got in there, might steal something. I don't know what's in there, it's gotta be all falling down. But
Where do we, do you know where we send the tax bill for that house?
they pay it,
I
they
pay
pay
it
it.
at the bank, or does he?
Do they live in Morrisville, I think?
They
'cause
live
I've
in
sent letters.
Morrisville, yes.
See, I always heard rumor that that's your grandfather's house.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear that story?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my thing, my father still.
Still owns
Owns it.
it, that's,
Owns it, yeah.
that's
Send
never-
it to Mark. Send a warning to Mark.
Although, I think I don't know the whole story, but my grandfather,
They
they.
bought with him holding the mortgage, right?
Yeah, and then they never
Never
paid
paid
for
it,
it.
yeah.
Right.
And my grandfather
Instead
never
of
wanted to
tax.
go down there and kick him out, so he just said,
Attack with it.
for
Yeah,
what
that's what I
it
heard.
was for money, it wasn't worth fighting over, and,
And then Mike, whatever happened there too, Mike said squatters' rights.
right.
They've been
Yeah,
there
yeah.
for so many years, that'd
Yeah.
be
They were
squatters.
there when I was a kid.
But it's a mess, everything's just kinda growing up and out, and,
And my great-great-grandfather, I think, built that house.
oh, I know, there's some
Probably.
beautiful,
All the-
there's some
the
beautiful.
scroll-
Oh, it has all
art.
the scrolls on top.
Yeah.
It was
that's
all made
not-
by hand.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
and
they
I
live-
don't
they
know
live
what
there
you
as a
can do,
family
I don't
over
know,
there.
you know, you could just put that fence up,
Well,
you
John, what do
know,
you
so I
say?
don't have to, okay,
John's here, what do you think?
yeah.
Well, he's been excited, I know that, he doesn't reply, or I think he
Yeah.
did call and yell at me one time.
Yeah.
But I think it's, at this, have the lawyer write him a letter and say either, you know,
Yeah,
clean it up or you're gonna fine him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start, I mean,
That's the only thing.
Well, I
Well,
came years ago,
we
remember,
did that
before the
years
fence
ago.
was
We
up,
said
before the
we were
fence was
finding.
up,
Yeah.
I had it going on both sides.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just. I
understand.
had it going on both sides, but more with him, and then that trailer that he just,
Didn't we find him or threaten
but I
him
don't think he
then?
ever paid
No,
anything.
but we did something
Yeah.
and he cleaned it up a little bit.
Not
Not
really,
really,
not
okay.
really, but
We've been through this.
I think he put the fence up,
I think that's when the.
and that kind of pacified me for a bit,
Yeah.
and,
need to start finding them, and when the fines exceed
The cost of the house. we take
cost
it.
of the property, I mean,
I keep hoping he doesn't pay his taxes every year. He's not on your tax
No,
sale
no,
thing,
no.
because he pays.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not.
somebody pays up.
they're all.
But that, you know, these big storms, you get that big piece of steel and it, bang, 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 you know, bang, bang, you know, blah, it's like.
So are you,
Well, if the board authorizes me, I'll have
Yes,
a lawyer
I think
go.
we have to do that stuff.
yeah, we're gonna have to
It worked
start
in East
being
Richford
more
on the
tough
corner.
on these people.
Yeah, yeah.
That's looking pretty good over there. She's got that fence up and what I could
And
see
there's nothing really
in.
behind
I'm
it.
getting-
No,
There's
it
nothing
looks
really
really
behind it.
nice.
I
I love,
looked, yeah.
Me and John went there.
yeah, that looks.
When you
Well,
threatened to put a
Well, no, we
fine
just
on
went
it.
and checked it.
Yeah, oh, you did, yeah,
Well,
I saw it the other
When was
day
that?
It's pretty good. Back it
Two
looked.
weeks ago?
Yeah.
in the driveways.
There was
and
nothing behind the fence.
Okay, I was
but
gonna say,
just a
I
handful
kinda
of
went
doors.
and
a Couple of
well,
kids'
I couldn't
toys,
see,
that's
it
all.
looked nice, and
Fence
she's got
is
the
a
nice
little-
little flowers and the little driftwood decoration in the front, yeah.
Fence is a little crooked, but.
I
That's
know, I wish
okay.
you could
That's
see the
okay.
pretty
That's
fence.
okay. Yeah, that's
That
okay.
drives
The
me
fence is
not
up.
nuts.
Yeah, the
Okay.
fence is up.
Better crooked fence than what was there.
But it is, it's just East, you know, we got
I
that,
hate
that was
crooked
the
fences, though.
eyesore.
Right, and
Now that's cleaned up and it's kinda just starting to
Yeah.
spread other
You can't
places, you know,
ignore
I don't know,
Richford.
all those cars, I don't know who's living in that little blue house either, but that's, there's a lot of stuff on that
Time for
little.
a trip up there.
What, I don't know what the little blue.
It's Lucas, well,
It's on the Lucas Road.
Shag, full, I don't know what the, it's,
Second house on
Mike
the right.
Rose's
on
house
Lucas
is
Street.
here, then there's a house, and there's a little blue house. And it's got not even a quarter acre that comes with it, but there's like 4 cars parked in the driveway and along the road.
Partially
Well,
in the road.
on the, not really in the road, but on the side, I don't know if that's legal or not.
Well,
Then
they're
we
in
got
the
the
right of way.
campers right across the street, you know.
No, we shouldn't ignore it just because
It's
it's out of
just-
the village. We shouldn't.
messy.
I'll talk with John about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
That's all,
send
just,
some letters.
okay. So I've worked every Monday, I don't work Monday anymore,
So
so.
you're, now you
Here I
get to look
am.
at it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
You
Kelly.
sent a letter to the house
Mike?
next to, wait, hang on,
Okay,
hang
all
on,
right, great.
Andy,
Thanks.
Andy, as long as we're
Sorry.
talking, just wait a minute, as long as we're talking about this subject, did you tell us that you sent a letter to the house next to our property on River Street?
Yes.
You told us that tonight?
Yes.
Well, I think I gave Andy a copy, I put it in your mailbox.
Oh, because I didn't put it in the minutes, okay. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, great. Okay, Mike Ranick, 109 Main Street, pull up here a little closer. I want to apologize if I have the protocol, I don't come often, so I don't really, I have not been really aware of the protocol. I've raised my hand in the past and I've been told actually to put my hand down. So I think when I come and I usually come for pretty good reasons. I try to be a good citizen. I struggle with lots of things, as we all do. But anyway, I've got a list. I'd like to know, I think, a couple clarifications before the time actually starts on me. But I apologize. Please accept my apology. I'm not here to offend or to have acrimonious feelings generated. I'd like to participate and contribute to the community. I care very much about what goes on Main Street. I live there. And I care very much about the overlook, and I spent a lot of time and energy trying to give back something to this community for as long as I'm here and have that opportunity to live here and live. So, the clarification, the rail trail progress. I understand somebody was out looking at lines of possibly where the rail trail is going to come through. Could somebody tell me about the rail trail real quick, update any progress on that?
Yeah, there's been progress, but you've been in the mix of emails with Bethany, right?
Yes, and nothing's been going very quickly at all.
Was there a dispute over money?
Not at this point. Haven't heard back to any sort of numbers, and it's been about a month, close to a month. And the other agreement that they had. But what I was interested in knowing is, you've gone out and reviewed where the trail's gonna come in and whose property it's gonna go down or not gonna go down. It's not gonna go down Dave's. Did you make amends to the rail trail? That's good, what I was wondering about.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think she's made any changes yet because people haven't committed to, we're waiting on people to say, yes, we'll do it.
Okay.
Until the people say, yes, we'll sign it and we'll do it for this amount of money, we can't put the trail in.
React did, and they haven't been paid yet, and I've had very delays. Anyway,
We're not gonna get paid till
so
we get it all.
I maybe just would hope that the select board might get involved with the process with the Frank, I don't know who the contract is with, I haven't read the paperwork, but maybe get involved with that process so that we can get
Do you have
paychecks out.
Do you have
and
that email?
things.
Right here,
Did you print them all off?
the one
ones
from him, between him and
between
Bethany?
him and Bethany?
No, I just brought it.
I withdrew all those agreements. And
I haven't seen
But see,
you
but
withdraw
that's
the
what's-
$50,000 one.
I did withdraw that. I talked to her on the telephone.
But that's what's,
Yeah.
when you come and you ask what's holding up the project, when people are asking for.
Well, this is more for grant. I was looking more for grant money to work on the easement to make
That's not.
a lot of landscaping
I have it
work.
right here.
A landscaping work.
Yeah, I read the email, I mean, you're asking for $50,000 for what did the state offer?
1,000 and something,
Um,
1,400 something.
I'm looking for grant money. I found that there's other organizations that can provide grant money to nonprofit organizations like the Vermont River Conservancy, Northern Forest Control. So
But
I withdrew that.
The money
I
that's
withdrew that from
allocated for this rail trail project,
It's already a grant.
it's already a grant, it's
It's for
already
the
grant
road.
money and there's no,
It's for the road.
like,
though.
we can't just
It's
change it and
Right,
say,
that's how much it costs.
okay, we'll give you $50,000 because
to
you're gonna let us
improve-
cross your property.
No, it's not to cross my property, it's improve the easement down there to make it so when you get to the end of the rail trail, there's something there that's beautiful and that people will enjoy.
Oh, well, then that's something that has to be the next step. We can't put the rail trail in that you keep coming and asking about until everybody says, yes, we will give you an easement and we will accept the money that the state of Vermont has offered us.
Okay, I'm not everybody, so I'm just, me and React has
Are
signed
you ready
papers.
to,
I can't,
to
she's on
accept it?
vacation for 2 weeks. I tried to reach her today, she's on vacation.
Right,
for
she's
2
in Germany, but she's
So,
coming back.
okay, so you're aware she's on vacation.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's been sort of stalled because of, I've put in, I've retracted, I considered, I've reconsidered.
So you know more about it than us at this time. So why are you asking us?
I'm asking because I wanna know if there's been changes to where the rail trail's gonna go, and if there's different property owners. And I just wanted to know if there was anything I needed to know. I'm not in the loop, really.
I'm in the loop. I
Except as
read
a
every
property.
email that you send Bethany, she sends me. So I've read everything. I'm in the loop. I'm talking
Okay.
with Bethany. Until people commit and people sign it, the town is either gonna have to pay the money back at the end of this year.
Really?
If we can't
Yeah.
get
Wow,
people to sign and say, yes, we'll give you the easement.
okay.
Or we're gonna, all the money we've spent, $100,000, we're gonna pay it
Anybody
back.
else been signed and paid? I mean, React Fund, I understand, is signed, but they haven't been paid.
They haven't been paid, they're not gonna get paid till the end, because what if we pay them and nobody else signs?
We can't just write you a check and then all the other
Yeah, but
people
people
say,
say
no,
no.
we're
Well,
not
then,
gonna
then
do it.
maybe I should just wait until everybody else is on board, because I'm at the end of the trail, and if everybody else doesn't
Well,
do
we
it,
can
there's
stop
not
the
gonna
trail
be.
right before your house.
And anything,
Sounds to me like everybody's waiting and nobody's going anywhere. It's kind of a stalemate to me.
No, people are
Bethany
making
needs to
progress, but
really.
he wrote an
everybody-
email saying that he wanted $50,000 to go
It's
across
right
his
here,
property.
right
I read it in
It's
black
right
and
here.
white.
That's not,
You know,
and anyway, that was been withdrawn, and also it was to improve the easement. It wasn't for, it's providing electricity, providing water, providing landscaping, providing
But they're not
management,
asking for
providing a
that.
stage,
They're not
providing a
asking you to do that.
stage, providing, there's a lot of purposes for that easement that I'm very interested in seeing move forward. It's been 3 years, so anyway,
But that's not part of the grant. Don't say it's been 3 years. That's not part of the grant.
We can't add things to a grant that were established 20 years ago. The
3
grant-
years since I signed with the Vermont River Conservancy, let me
Well, that's
clarify.
river, that's not us.
Let me just clarify, that's what I'm referring to with the 3 years. Anyway, listen, I have, let me just go through, I cut the grass down here on the corner over here yesterday. I spent about over an hour and a half. Cut it twice because it was really tall. So I took my mower that I used to cut the easement. So I did that because I want the area to look nice. And somebody asked me in the community if I'd do it, so I did it. I enjoy doing it. I care about how the community. John does a lot of things. Rowena does a lot. Alia do a lot of things. I'm trying to contribute and participate too. I'd like to provide water from my property to a water fountain. Get a nice water fountain and put it down somewhere by the access road there, ideally under the road to the other side where the easement starts. So, but we'd need to talk to the water department and see how we could work that out. Comes off of through my water line into the property that services the building. If we could arrange something that would be reasonable to provide water for the community, for drinking, for the dogs, for if there needs to be, that's predominantly it, just a drinking fountain and for the dogs.
Would the fountain be on your land or on town land?
It would be on the easement, but it would need to go under the road, and we need to find out where the sewer line is and how deep it is and things like that. And there's going to be a pavement go in there at some point in time too. So I like right now I'd like to put it on my side because the road's going to go through. They're going to be digging all that up and putting an asphalt road in, and that would be the time to move it to the other side.
You know you need permits
right
from
now.
the zoning for anything like that.
Right, that's why I wanted to find out. But the other thing we'd have to cross the bridge relative to a permit is how, it wouldn't be that big of an expense to me for the water usage. Down there, I don't anticipate drinking water for the summer would be that, it really affect my water bill. But I do want to look at those considerations if, I don't know the gallons usage that's allowed.
I think there's a water line down there we could probably tap into and have a fountain there.
Yeah, it'd be a town.
There's a fire.
That would be great. Okay,
Yeah,
so let's
not
table
personal.
that. I'm planning to provide electricity from my building so that we could have a stage down there with sound equipment. So I'm looking at putting an electrical outlet so that musicians or
Is
PA
there already
speakers
power
could
down there?
It'd be run on
Is
electric.
there already power
Is
down
There's
there
there?
power at the substation.
There's
There's
already
power.
power at
Still
some
has nothing to
station
do with
is
this
power.
grant
Yeah,
at all.
No, it's not to do with the grant.
No.
no, has nothing to do
But
with
That's
that.
things that could come later if we
What's
can get
more
the grant.
important?
Okay,
You
so
get it.
anyway, these are just things that I'm considering and like feedback on and see what we can do to make the easement more usable and friendly and for the community to enjoy. Let me just keep going here. I appreciate, it was great having the town's participation with putting in the trail, so we got the gravel trail that they dug up and they brought stone in and then the Vermont River Conservancy put in, so I hope the town enjoys
Town
that.
had nothing, yeah. we had
The town
nothing to
did,
do
the
with it.
town brought in equipment, they dug and they divided the land, what do you call it?
Worked with Noah.
Yeah, and brought in some stone, and then we put in a lot more stone. So we've got a trail now that looks kind of nice down to the river, the access. I've got 4 parking spaces back there. I'm considering making them available for handicap parking for 2 of them. So that's something, considering, like to see. Okay, a few other things just real quickly relative to our communities. Constable, who's our constable?
Larry Carr.
Very car.
Larry Carr?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a neighbor who heard gunshots fired, found a bullet that had come and hit their building and was lying on their, and it took 10 days to get a report taken on that.
There's no law in the village that you can't shoot a gun.
There's no laws that said you can't shoot a gun in the town,
Village.
in the village.
We had
So
tried-
anybody can come in town, just shoot their
Yeah.
gun in the air in the village?
Basically. I
Really?
tried 2 years ago we tried to put a gun restriction shooting in the village, and we had one board member that wouldn't let us.
It might be
Put it
something
that
to
way.
relook at though.
I got it right in my desk. Chris Martell did a lot of work on it
So anybody can drive into our town and just
Yes.
shoot an M16 into the air?
Right now.
right now.
Wow.
Same in Enosburg, you can do it in Enosburg too.
The Old West.
They
Okay.
actually found a bullet hole in a bullet
They found the bullet, yeah, we hit the building and it was lying right there in their
Really?
patio.
I don't think they're supposed to shoot at buildings, but
Somewhere.
But it ended up at her building, so definitely a concern. It also concerns me to hear about other break-ins, vandals, and violence and things, or suggestions that maybe somebody might get stabbed. I don't know what that was about, but I hope it doesn't
That was a
happen.
You don't know what it was
Linda, I hope
about.
that doesn't happen.
You don't know what it was about. You were eavesdropping and.
Well, it sounds very concerning, somebody getting stabbed in our community, and it's happened
Nobody's
before.
been
So
stabbed.
I hope, Linda, that we don't see any of these violent things that you're suggesting happen in our community. So anyway, I just want to say that, because I don't like to hear it, and maybe if I don't,
All right,
would you like to
attack
tell
on
me?
me, okay?
Would you like
We're
to
done.
tell me? Would you like to
Mike,
tell me?
Andy,
Just-
Andy,
Yeah, we've
was a
already
joke.
talked about this.
This is
I would like to know if there's
over.
anything you'd like to say additionally to
No.
that, because
You've
Okay.
got the floor.
all as I heard is
It's
that
been
somebody
almost
might get
15
stabbed and
minutes.
they should
Didn't hear
have
that at all.
heeded some warning or something. Anyway, would you like to comment on that?
No.
Can we stop talking about that?
Okay, what's
please? I've had enough
concerning-
of
Who's
that.
talking about
It's
it? Yeah.
concerning
Michael,
and disturbing
Michael, we've already,
to
you've been
hear.
talking for 10 minutes, we're done.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. I care about our town just as much as you do. I don't get a cent. I know you put in a hell of a lot of hours for a very small amount of money. Nobody's here for the money. I contributed my time to cut the grass to keep the town
Thank you
looking
for
nice.
doing that.
I contributed a lot of time for that easement. I'd not paid a cent. Well, I've got some help, a little bit of help.
I don't understand
So, anyway.
what an easement is. Is it something you work on? I mean, it's just letting somebody go across your land, isn't it? That's all an easement
Do
is.
you have a question for me? Is that a question?
Yeah, isn't that all it is somebody can cross your land? Why is it all of a sudden
Gives you
becoming
the
a?
authority to cross their land
Right.
and maintain a trail or do any
Yeah.
maintenance. you have
It's
there.
it's a community public use area is what it is. It's like a park. It's like a park, and there's a lot of purposes for it. So, did you
So
have?
before you
Thank you.
leave, I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, where are you at with the agreement for the rail trail?
Well,
Are you, like, if we came to your house with the paper, are you willing to sign it and accept the money for it, or is that, no?
she's on vacation,
I don't-
and I haven't. She says she has to contact some other organization. She doesn't know when she's going to hear back from them.
2 weeks.
So basically, I gave her. It wasn't that my latest. I don't know if I put it in writing what we talked about on the phone, but that's not good. You could just shred those. Those have been withdrawn. I realized very shortly after the fact that was just not the scope of this grant. It's not to build an easement
Well,
park.
your first one was 5,000, and then it increased.
That's right.
To 50.
That's right. So anyway, we are back to sort of square one and just talking about it. But hopefully we'll see something beautiful down there that'll serve the community for a long time. Thank you for your time. Appreciate all you do. You guys don't believe it, but I do.
Thank
I
you.
haven't been here as long as the rest of you all. You know?
Thank you.
I don't have family. I don't have friends here. I didn't go to school with anybody. Nobody comes and invites me anywhere. But I do my best to participate and contribute.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, that was more than 5 minutes.
What's he wanna,
Other business.
is that behind, just quickly, sorry, where his building behind there, is that he's trying to make something pretty for everybody, is
Well,
that
it's
what
where
it?
the river
Yeah.
walk,
Right across from us.
right straight across from the town
React,
hall.
React owns the property, he doesn't.
Oh,
He owns
okay.
the yellow.
He owns next to Merton.
Next right to Morton's.
Right there.
I didn't get all that for a few minutes, but,
Do you now?
no, not really, I'm not going, whatever he's doing.
Remember last meeting when we appointed the new people for the zoning board?
Yeah,
We never appointed John as the zoning administrator, when someone needs to make a motion. We
Yes,
did, but we
we
didn't
Did,
put it
but
in the
it wasn't
minutes.
ever in the
the
minutes.
minutes, okay, well,
Yeah,
let's
so we
add it
just
to the
need to
minutes.
add it in the
No,
minutes.
here's your chance to get somebody new.
No, I could have sworn I wrote that in the minutes, you got the minutes, I didn't put that in there.
I
No.
didn't see it in
And
there.
right after when we appointed everybody, I thought I'd sit down, okay, so I'll add that.
Just
to-
need to add it in the
Yeah,
minutes.
add that, I gotta see
Nice
who
try,
nominated him and who, I'll watch the video. Add John, as appointed as,
3-year term.
yeah. I can watch actually, I did watch the video just because I was confused on a couple of them. Add John, appointed 3-year term as ZA, okay. To last
We didn't vote
minutes.
on it this time. We voted on the time before.
I'll do that.
Last one.
All we have is.
I think it was the last meeting, and then we need to make a decision on this net metering thing. That guy who keeps
No.
coming and talking
No.
about it.
I say no.
I say no.
What's the drawbacks in it? Why are you saying no? How,
As you guys were all telling me how it lasts to only 20 years and then you get all this crap around
Yeah, but if
it.
it costs the town nothing, they take care of all the legal fees and it saves us 10% on our power bill, what's the drawbacks, is what I'm saying.
You wanna do it? Go ahead.
I don't think
really
it saves
care.
us 10% though.
No?
No, but then on the same time, it's actually making a lot of energy and it's going someplace else, okay? So we should actually be making more money, because I had another solar company come to my house and talk to me, and I was getting a better deal than you guys are getting here.
Really?
Yeah,
The only
so I was
thing that,
saving 25% on
I'm
my
just saying, we're
everyday
getting
light bill.
10% off our bill and we're not doing a thing.
But then
I
if
just-
you go and look on it, there's a whole lot of different things now going on in Vermont that's coming out, and I've been seeing bits and pieces. I haven't sat down and actually done any investigation on it, but where you're getting paid to have it put in versus you just saving a little bit of money. You're actually getting paid to have it put in because you're actually giving money back you're giving power back to the grid for other places to use. So you're actually making a little money too.
the only thing that scares me with it is it's a 20-year agreement, and what if something better comes out in 5 years?
Well,
And
That's
we're
what I'm
like,
saying, that's
wow,
stuff
we wish we
I'm
didn't
seeing
do
now.
that, because it's not, definitely not 10% of our electric bill. It was like $2,900 a year savings or
Did we
something.
ever check with Matt Leach? Is Matt the one that's got it down in Enosburg? Who's got it? Susie Haltera?
I don't
Somebody
they
was
both
using
do.
it. Yeah.
There's schools and stuff down there.
The school on that?
Yeah, a lot of schools are going on it.
Well,
but
the
it's
school
just
is on
important.
it, just like what they're trying to get the
They're
town
here.
to do
Yeah, it's
here.
not the school.
You're
saying
just
no
getting the
more.
credits from it.
Which for them, it seems better because it's in their town, like, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
that power from that solar panel
right there.
is feeding our school in our town, where this one is an hour and a
Cavendish or
half from
somewhere.
here. It's past, Island Pond.
Yeah, it's right on the Connecticut
It's in
River.
Canaan.
You can drive to Leamington and see where your power.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, what if something in 5 years better comes along
Oh,
and we could have something right here in our town? And I don't agree with, Norris had a bunch of concerns about solar being
Right.
bad. I don't believe
I
it's
don't
bad.
believe that, but
Solar's not bad, it's just the mercury that's in the solar panels that what happens in 30 years and where you're gonna put it.
I'll be dead.
When you have all these panels, your grandchildren won't be.
There's no landfill that
They don't live
takes them,
here.
No.
there's no landfill that takes them,
No.
the old,
What I don't
Panel.
get is, if you don't pay Vermont Electric, you're paying them, right?
And you're paying Vermont Electric.
No, you pay
No.
them. And that was another thing I was
Yeah, you
concerned
pay-
about
What if
was.
we had trouble with Vermont Electric still come and
Yes,
fix our, okay.
yes, but it's the confusion for the town clerk that where we paid the bills for however long, it's like new bills coming and everything's switched over
Right.
to save.
Yeah.
It's not like we're saving $30,000.
Right,
It's
exactly.
like, I think it was 20
I think it's like 60,000 in
in over
20
20
years.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So about $3,000 a year.
Yeah.
And the size of our light bill, that's not much.
No, I don't pay much for lights.
Well, I mean, the town's light bills.
Well, we're thinking of the town, we aren't gonna get advantage, that's right.
No.
That's right.
And there's only certain
Certain meters that
meters
qualify
that would
for it.
qualify.
We'd have to change something probably.
Yes, well, no, but there's only certain
They gotta use so
usages.
many kilowatts before they even qualify for it.
Like our street lights, he said, didn't count.
Right,
Um,
exactly.
Like,
What else do we have for, we have.
well, some of our pumps for the
Sewer
sewer
pumps.
systems
Sewer, yeah.
would count.
So what are you saying is good about it?
I don't know if it's good.
Oh.
I'm just listening, but I
You're
just
the one
don't
that
see
said
the
what's
drawbacks
bad.
from it. I don't
Okay.
see where the town could really go wrong with it, other than him stating the fact that maybe something better would come out later. And if you got a contract with them, maybe you.
A 20-year term scare,
That's
it's
a
a long
long
time
time.
to commit to one
These guys may
thing.
not even be in business in 20 years.
Well, that's
So I was
the
Well, I
thinking
think
the
they
whole time
kinda
he was
gotta
talking.
be, don't they?
Well, I
Now that
don't
they've
know, do
invested
they?
millions in solar panels all over the state.
No.
Yeah, I know,
People
but they
do
go
go
belly
bankrupt.
up, yeah. And then who has to take care of those solar panels?
Plus
They'll
they
sit in
have better
fields.
they have better technology coming out real soon too.
Well, it keeps coming all the time.
Yeah.
I don't care, I'll go with whatever the majority wants to do, but, I don't like.
I'm kinda in
change.
the same, I'm kinda in the same boat, and I just don't feel like it's enough of a savings to make a big change.
That's what I'm
For-
thinking.
That's where I'm at with it, but again, if the majority of the people thought we should do it, then I would probably say, I don't see where you can really go wrong, other than it wipes out our ability to do something different in the future for 20
But
years.
does it do that though?
Oh, when you sign that agreement, it's a 20-year, you're locked in.
Mhm.
He said the only way we would get out of it was if something happened to that solar array where it smashed and, or whatever, if
So
something,
we'd have no backup, but they do. They could say we're out of it because something happened on that end.
Right.
that's how I
But
understood
we
it.
don't get, I mean, like, we don't want it any more breaks or anything like
I
that.
personally think for the amount of solar panels they're putting up, we are not getting much of a break for our, for what we're allowing.
And another thing, and I could be wrong, but I feel like, I mean, that array of solar panels can't be that large to supply, why does he keep coming back to us?
I know.
I don't-
Well,
What
he's
are
been
we?
to all
We're
of them out
nothing.
through, you know, he's been to schools in North Troy and different places.
There seems like a long ways between here and
Well, it
Canaan.
does, but it's a
To-
municipal thing, is what they're the people that qualify for the credits, right? Municipalities and
In
schools.
schools.
Yeah.
There's a lot of municipalities and schools from Canaan, Vermont to
I
here.
know.
What about our school? Have they gone there?
Well, I asked him that and he
Not yet.
Said no.
He
Not
said
yet,
not yet.
yeah, not
Well,
yet.
if the school's not gonna do it, does it make sense for the town to do it? And when we're paying, they're,
If we're
two
sending our
separate
electric somewhere
things.
else,
you know, I don't know.
So what do you wanna do? Say yes or no? We did say we'd get back to him, and we haven't.
I'm not.
Well, and if he called me, I could just say we
Wrong
said
sided.
no, or we said yes, or every time he calls me, it's like, I don't know, come back to the meeting again
Don't have him come back.
and give
Well,
us your,
didn't
give us
we
your
okay
spiel,
it to
but-
have our attorney
we
look at
didn't.
that? No?
No, we said we would discuss it at our,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Next
I
meeting.
thought
As
the
you
attorney.
recall, you're all going out the door when I said, oh, we were gonna discuss it, and you all said, good night.
Adjourned.
Yes, you did. Night, bye.
Must be we were tired.
No, we didn't care, is what it was. We didn't really care.
my
I
grill was
personally
on.
am not that hot on the idea, so.
I don't wanna listen to him again, though.
No, I don't either.
So Linda, you say no,
Yeah.
Sherry says
I
no,
say no.
I say no.
Sounds like it's a no, cause I'm on the fence.
Are we actually taking?
I don't know enough about it. I haven't
No, but
really.
just put in the
Consensus.
minutes that we decided what we,
Consensus is no.
for now.
would know
Unless,
that?
the only time I would say maybe
I don't-
differently is if the school board
Right.
came to us and said, well, hey, we wanna join this, why aren't you? And maybe they have time to dig deeper into
Yeah,
the
remember,
research
our
on
school
it,
board
but
is now a union school board.
Mhm.
So what did you call it? Solar, what is it
that's
called?
net metering solar project.
Net metering solar project. I'll look at the last minutes. Okay.
I'll email him your minutes.
Okay. That's a good way to get out of it. Consensus is no.
That was all I had for other business.
Okay, we gotta do the, Anita.
Yep,
Okay, is this executive or is this?
yep, someone make a
We can,
motion.
before we go into executive, it's going to be some dates,
Okay,
Yes.
okay? One thing I was, the guys would like, down at the email station, we do have people that come in and stay there, if we could get some shades in those windows.
Okay.
Okay, that was that one. That would be good. Alan had asked about our agreement for what we were gonna be paying the Notch. And I believe it was that we were paying them till the end of May.
Oh, I don't know.
I
Yeah,
thought it
thought
was,
that was too.
no, it was the end of July.
What have they been doing?
No, well, the end of May was this quarter. We don't wanna pay any more than we were supposed to. Because he was questioning, because I actually did the billing in May and the payments, he didn't know if it should be prorated. I told him I would check.
Well, we shouldn't pay them if they didn't do it.
No, it was
They were
January,
training, they were gonna do, well,
it was January, February,
training.
March, then April,
April,
May,
May,
June. So it was to the end of June.
well, they only charged to the end of May. So maybe they, so it was to June, so they only did to the end of May.
Well, she told us when we had that meeting with her that they had to, cause they do it in
Four
four
quarters, yeah.
Quarters.
quarters, and
I thought it
so
would've been
January,
June,
February,
yeah.
March, then April, May,
May,
June
June.
would be the end of June. And we
Okay,
were
so they only
hoping,
billed to the end of May,
Okay.
even though, yeah, cause I did do the, cause I did process the May bills. and
When did
they
Donna
were
get done?
training.
May.
Yeah, end of May,
Well, that's probably why.
Yeah. yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that.
but did we have an agreement with them to pay them quarterly? I mean,
I don't know.
It was, but she only charged to the end of May, so she did prorate it already.
They prorated.
oh, they already sent
They
us a
did it.
bill,
Yeah,
Yes,
they sent the
yeah,
bill.
'cause I have the bill here, and it was to,
the end of June,
no,
May.
end of May.
end of May.
So
Oh,
they gave
okay.
us, they prorated it so that. 'cause
So
they're
what's
not
Alan's
helping.
question?
So you wanna pay
About
them more?
prorating it, but then I looked at it and it said till May, so I'm trying to think of when they were starting, so never mind, it's all
Okay.
good.
I'm crossing it out.
All right, so, of course, we had shortage of EMTs. I have 3 people, we did just a 50-50 raffle. It was small. We got $90 in, so it was $45 as a donation for one. Doris Worthen, but the other 45 was under $100, so I just posted it on the website.
Yeah.
But, I had a sign-up sheet, so I have 2 people on there to interview, plus from the ad, I have 1 person on there to interview, but none of them are trained. And so I'm gonna interview and see who, we don't wanna just send anyone to these classes, because I
No,
tell
we
you
don't
what,
wanna pay for them if they're not.
after taking this class, we should really be appreciating what these EMTs have to go through and learn what they do for for that service. And it doesn't stop after the class, they have to keep up on everything.
Oh, yeah.
And they're actually adding more responsibilities each year. I think they're gonna, Joey, they're gonna add CPAP, just for the basic EMTs.
Every 2 years they update our
Yeah.
protocols.
Yep, so, and so I actually, my class is done.
Good.
I took my final exam, I'll know my grade on Wednesday, I think I did well on it. I already had a 90% average in the class, so.
That's it.
I worked with a class of 20 students. 19 of them were between the ages of 18 and 20.
College class.
Yeah, the guys all liked all the girls, the trainers coming in with little skimpy shorts.
I'll bet. Yeah.
But anyway, it was actually a good class, but it's very intense. And so I think I did well.
So you can start going on the ambulance.
I have that not,
You have to
I
train.
have to take the national test, which would be, I'm gonna put it, I think I'm gonna put it out to at least 2 weeks, because what the question on there is like, it's almost like they word it in such a way, if you don't pay attention to one word on the way they word it, you could pick the wrong answer, because 2 or 3 of the answers could be right, but because of that one word, they're
They
not.
do that on the SATs all the time,
Yeah.
trick kids.
So it's that type of testing, so I gotta do a lot of they have a lot of practice testing that I'm gonna pay for. They have a NREMT practice test site for that.
Yeah.
And I'm
There's
gonna,
certain keywords that if you see that word, you know it's another
yes,
answer.
yeah, it can't be those other 2, yeah.
And they don't
that's-
underline them either.
No,
No,
they
they
don't
don't.
underline it. Thank goodness it's multiple choice, but you really have
That
to
can be hard,
focus.
yeah.
So, but I will practice doing it that way with practice
Mm-hmm.
test. And as far as, and I think there was some question on whether or not that I approve the time, which I do. I go through their time sheets.
Well, wait a minute, because we
Yeah.
haven't.
No,
started
just,
talking about that.
just to let you know that I do
That's
keep on
right.
top.
Just
Oh, I know
Yeah,
you do.
just in
Yeah.
I
general.
know you do.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
You'd have to.
yeah.
I also have a question for you. What about subscriptions where people used to prepay for the ambulance service?
I've
Remember
been
we were
doing
talking
those.
about that at one time?
Yeah.
I had a couple people ask me about that. I said, yeah, we still do that. They
Which
said we do.
Actually, I need.
I've been doing it,
list,
but,
yeah.
um,
I can take it over as far
you
as that
gotta, I
goes.
just-
Yeah, cause I do the billing, I need to know
Yeah.
if they have the insurance.
Well, there
No,
is,
they have
well, no,
insurance,
there
I'm not gonna
is,
send
there's
them
a
a bill.
spreadsheet that tells you.
Well, I think the plan is for her to take it over once she
Yeah.
gets done her
I was trying to do it.
classes and,
Yeah, well, I'm
Okay.
done the classes, so actually I spent today like catching up on some
I'll
stuff.
show you how to do it, and I'll
Yeah.
show you the spreadsheet, because
Okay.
it tells everybody whether they paid, when their thing was up.
Well, then what I need it for is that if they have like, charges that are, they pay your responsibility, if they have this insurance, I'm not gonna send them a bill.
Right, that
Yeah.
this covers
That's
their
what-
whole
yeah.
trip. If they
Yeah.
pay $50,
Yeah.
which is not enough,
you know, it
because it
should be
includes the
more.
whole
It should
family,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah,
covers
yeah,
all
anyone
ambulance.
that
You
has
don't-
the insurance,
Right.
yes, yeah.
But no, there were some people that asked me, they said, we used to get it, but we haven't heard nothing about it in years.
Well, if they
so-
don't pay a few times, they don't get another,
Notice? Okay.
But the other thing is, Donna, I know she used to send out for people that were either underinsured or uninsured. And sometimes she would send the subscriptions with their bill
that's a nice
Yeah.
idea.
to give them an
idea.
incentive.
I've got the whole, all paperwork, you can
Okay.
certainly,
That would be, I mean, it's the perfect time to do it.
okay. Good, I'll
Excellent.
give it to you tomorrow.
Okay. It's warm in here.
No, it's not. I'm
It
in
is
front of
warm in
the,
here.
I'm in front of the fan. If
Anything
I'm not
else?
hot, nobody should.
We need to go, you said you wanna go into executive session?
Well, don't we have some questions?
Yeah,
Yep.
So,
so for employee related.
okay.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it, and then we'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Who made it?
I don't know, I said someone needs to.
Oh, I'll make the motion to go into executive session.
I'll
To
second it.
discuss personnel.
Yeah.
Discuss personnel. And he's seconding it.
No.
You,
He did.
Job.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.